Hello again, my most amazing artists. Today I want to talk to you a little bit more about what our expectations are for submitting our work online. Anytime you upload a picture and send it to me, it's important that I can see your work and I can see all the details that you chose to include in it. And I can only do this if we are good photographers. So today we're going to talk about some tips that we might use to help us photograph our work before we submit it. So let's see what those look like. The first tip that I have for you is making sure that you are keeping your device stable. Whether you're taking a picture on a phone or a camera or a Chromebook, any of those things are fine, but it's important that we keep our camera stable. One way we can do this is by keeping our elbows close to us while we take the picture. And sometimes if you take a long breath out, it'll help you keep your camera steady as well. Also, another tip is we need to make sure we are keeping it in focus. I have gotten several good pictures, but I've also found that I have a lot of pictures that look blurry, like this image here on the left. It's important that when we are photographing our work, we are doing our very best to make sure that that work is not blurry and it is in focus. So we want to be kind of still, and if possible, we want to take our picture in natural light, maybe near a window. And this one's the biggest one for me. Make sure that you are showing me as much of your work as you can. That means we need to make sure we are filling up the frame and keeping it in that frame. We do not want the picture to be several feet away from us as we're taking a photograph. So if our artwork is really far away, I'm not going to be able to tell what you drew for your drawing or what you collaged or painted or sculpted. It's important to get close to your work so that we can see the whole thing. So let's just look at a few other examples. Okay, the first tip I have for you is try. Okay, if you don't get a good picture on the first try, don't just leave it. Delete that one and retake it until you have something that looks really good. Then and only then should we submit that work. We want to try to use natural light. So one thing that can really help us get accurate colors in our photograph is by coming close to a window. And you'll see in this first photograph here, what a difference in color this picture is from this picture. This picture was actually taken outside in the sunlight. Now that's not always possible, but it would be possible for you to probably go close to a window and set your work on a table in order to take your photograph. Another thing about this picture that's not really working for me is this background. The background in this photograph, while the roses are beautiful, they kind of distract us from the work that we're looking at. And another thing is, look at this angle. We want to try to match up whatever our work is within the frame. So we want to kind of line it up as best we can. Let me see if I can scoot over here. So if we look at this image, you can see we are right along that border. We can see that I photographed on a table here, and it comes really close to the edge of my picture. That's important because that's allowing me to see your work fully without cutting any of it off. And I'm not seeing all of this extra background stuff. And it's not at an unusual angle. I can really clearly tell which directions the lines are heading. And that's because I took the photo from straight up and down. So I looked at my work on the table and I took a photograph straight down. So another thing is using solid backgrounds. I mentioned this a little bit, but notice how distracting all this information in the background is. When you take a photo, I shouldn't see your siblings in the background. I shouldn't see your cat. I shouldn't see your math homework. Try to photograph somewhere where the background is solid and flat. That can even be the floor. That would be fine. Okay, so all that being said, If we are able to create great photos of our work and submit them for the rest of the year, we will be able to create a digital art show at the end of the year. I know that some of us didn't get to share our fantastic work at the end of last year as we had hoped. That is something we are changing this year. We are going to find a way to create a virtual display for our entire school to be able to view. But that can only happen for my at-home students if we are taking the best quality photos possible. So do your best, and if you need a parent to help you, don't be afraid to ask. I hope you have fun photographing your work, and I hope these tips can help you. If you have any other questions for me, please don't hesitate to ask. Goodbye.